So here's an amazing issue. Why does Jesus not often refer to himself as God? Really a great question. And here's some verses that are used to say that Jesus does, and it is declared that in the scripture that he is God. My favorite one is this one. When Jesus says that he is I am, before Abraham was I am. I mean, that's a drop dead giveaway right there. If it's not God on the cross, then nobody's getting saved. It has to be God. And that's because of Hebrews 2:17. So that's saying that he has to be like us so we can be like God again. The image can be restored so we can be like him. If we're like him, then we're saved. And if we can do what he does, if he overcomes death, so can we. So it has to be God on the cross. That's why when people say there's God the Son and God the Father and God the Spirit, and they're all not the same, but they're all God, I just do not agree. That's human thinking. That's human deduction. And you simply say Jesus is God, plain as day. And that's the end of the story. God's on the cross. God's the Son. God became flesh. So, but why is this not talked about much? So let me get to the point here. And it's really simple. It's right here. You know how those verses in Hebrews where it says Jesus has to learn? And everybody's like, why does he have to learn? He's God. He knows everything. Because if he doesn't do that, he's not like us. He has to be a human. So he can be like us, so that our image can be restored. He can be like God again. So wherein we can be saved. So, so therefore he has to be a kid and not know stuff and learn and know what it's like to be human in that way. Have, scratched up knees and stuff, and, be smelly with bad breath and all that. So if he's not all that, he's not human. If he's walking around and saying, I'm God to everyone, then that would be fundamentally different than what ordinary humans are. So it seems like that it's not something he would do if he's going to be like us. Pretty simple answer, really. It has to be God on the cross in order for us to be saved, as we said. So, but Jesus does reveal that he's God with the miracles. So you say, well, why didn't he since he revealed it, why didn't he say it too all the time? So then he does differentiate from humans by showing himself through the miracles, who he really is. God is the Son of God, and the Son of God is God, and they're both the Spirit. They're all just one thing. So if you're following what I'm saying here, we're saying the reason Jesus doesn't say that he's God much is it's not because it's not something we do. So if he came to be like us, then he's not going to do that. You say, okay, that sounds great, but why then, on the other hand, does Jesus reveal that he is God through his actions, namely the miracles and so forth? So that is where we are at, and that is the question. However, there's a bit of a discrepancy in what was just said. It's not the case that we differentiate from the Lord by the miracles. And that's because walking around and saying that we're God is not something we do, so therefore it's not something Christ, the Lord, did, so he could be like us. But on the other hand, doing the miracles of Christ, those are things we do. I mean, God does through us. As you see right here in John 14:12, the greater works than these shall he do. So the miracles don't differ from who we are when Christ did the miracles that show that he was God. And you say, well, are we God? And no, that God is in us and does the miracles. So anyway, the reason that Jesus didn't walk around saying that he was God is because that would have made him not like us. So pretty simple answer to that question. Scripture is always perfectly consistent in the King James Bible.